Hello, everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jack, and if you're new here, this is Jack to Japan, kind of me documenting my journey to going to Japan and bringing you along for the journey. This week I want to do something a little special for you. I wanted to kind of answer some of the questions that I've been asked on some of my videos. I have about 10 questions that I've compiled, 11 questions, and I'm just going to go through them and answer them. Mind you, they're not verbatim. I did kind of shorten them. The first question is, I'm gonna read it from my computer, so I'm gonna look down. But what are the basics in regards to being an ALT? Do I need experience? Who can apply? This is a very interesting question. I made about 3 videos about this. My ALT video, like what is an ALT, has some of the metrics in there, as well as my own applying process to Borderlink. Like, what is the company? You know, the very first one on my page has that, as well as some of the interview videos. They also talk about what's necessary to apply. But I think there's a big 3, and the big 3 are: you need a bachelor's degree, you need to have received an education conducted in English for 12 years, and you need to be a native level English speaker. And those are the main 3 that I have seen on just about every ALT dispatch company application. Hopefully that's the answer that you're looking for. In terms of experience or what you need, that's what you need. Experience is not totally necessary, just as much as being able to speak Japanese is not totally necessary for most of these ALT companies. Should you have experience, and should you put it on your resume? Of course. I think if you're applying for a teaching job, you should have some teaching experience at least. Do you need it? No. It's an entry-level job, so you don't necessarily need it. Will it help you? Absolutely. Question number 2 kind of folds into question number 1. It's, what if I don't have a bachelor's degree? Can I still teach English in Japan? And to answer that question, no. And the main reason why you need a bachelor's degree is in order to get your visa. And that's the requirement from the country that you're going to. So Japan requires you to have at least a bachelor's degree to apply for a visa for teaching English in Japan. So that's why you need a bachelor's degree. Number 3, can non-native English speakers teach in Japan? And the answer to that question is yes. So I've recently read this blog by Nathan Crocker where he goes around and talks to different people from different countries and their whole experience teaching English in Japan. There are people from Romania and from other countries around the world. But I'll link that blog in the description so you can read it for yourself. So if you're a non-native English speaker, you still have to have a near native level in order to teach in Japan. But you absolutely can apply. Number 4, I'm looking to film a documentary in Japan. Can I apply for an artist visa? Will that allow me to get into the country? To answer that question, I'm not sure if it'll allow you into the country. But how you get an artist visa is pretty much the same way you would get a normal visa, with the added level of you have to prove that you're an artist. So you have to show your work. However, this isn't necessarily a loophole because it's actually very difficult to get an artist visa. There are certain requirements that constitute an artist, and you need to make enough money to establish yourself and also sustain yourself while you're in that country. If you're filming a documentary and you're doing it for a company and they're paying you to do it and you're sustainably living in Japan that way, then I think absolutely you could apply for an artist visa through that company and they would be able to help you. If you're going by yourself, I think you would have a much harder time getting that artist visa because I'm not sure if that documentary is going to bring in funds or that kind of thing. But that's actually one of the necessary requirements in order to get it, is to be sustainable while you're in the country. Number 5, can I enter Japan with a working holiday visa? And to answer your question, I'm not sure. Right now, Japan has very, very, very tight borders. About 2 weeks ago, Japan decided that they were going to open up their borders to students, business workers, and I believe technical trainees. So, does the working holiday visa constitute under any of those? I'm not sure. I couldn't really find too much information on it. But if you do apply for it and you get in, let me know. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to find out more information about that. Unfortunately, as an American, I cannot apply for a working holiday visa, as our country and Japan don't have that working relationship. But there are a list of other countries that I'm sure if you applied, you could totally do that. Just go ahead and email me, hit me up on the comment section. I'd love to talk. Question number 6. What are some tips for applying outside of Japan? All of my tips are for applying outside of Japan. I live outside of Japan currently. I am in the United States of America, more specifically in Hawaii. So every tip that I give is for applying from outside of Japan. None of it has been from inside of Japan. However, what tips can I give for applying outside of Japan? Go ahead and check out all of my videos, and I'm sure that you'll find a few tips that'll help you apply outside of Japan. Question number 7. What should I expect from my preliminary interviews and my orientation? I actually made an entire video about this. It's how to become an ALT in Japan, full application, preliminary interviews, and orientation. So there's a whole video about it. However, just things to expect. It is going to be your preliminary interview is going to be a group interview, probably about 4 or more people, and the main idea of it is to go and work together as best as you can while still maintaining a bright attitude, be out of yourself, be energetic, but at the same time respect the people that are there and that are really helping, like the interviewer, like your fellow applicants, as you're being watched, not so much for your experience, but so much more as your attitude, as the way you present yourself. So I'd say come professionally dressed, be out of yourself, and work together. Listen attentively. Learn how to use the mute button on Skype. With that all being said, that's the answer to your question, hopefully. I have the next 2 questions kind of play into each other. So the first one is, does Borderlink cover the cost of flying? And that is going to be a resounding no. They are one of the companies that does not cover the cost of flying. In fact, most companies don't cover the cost of flying. It's only the JET program that does that for the most part. If there are any exceptions, please let me know. I'd love to share them with everyone. In terms of Borderlink, they do not cover the cost of flying. Question number 9, does Borderlink cover transportation and accommodations when you first come to Japan? And the answer to that question is no. So from what I understand, Borderlink is kind of like, hey, show up this day to this place and we'll get you going. In terms of will they cover transportation costs there? I believe it said something on their website about reimbursement. So when you actually travel there, they'll cover the cost of whatever your transportation was. In terms of accommodations, no, you're going to need to find accommodations when you land. So I recommend looking into that. Number 10, do I still get paid during the summer vacation months when I'm teaching? Now, I am not sure, as I have no idea, as I have not been there, and I've not done that yet. However, what I can tell you is it depends on the contract that you sign. From what I can tell from Borderlink is that when you go to work is when you get paid. The hours you log are what you get paid for. And they said somewhere around 39 hours per week. So take that into consideration. They also say that in the first month you won't be working as much. So save up money. They recommend about $5,000 US or whatever your country's equivalent is. Save up money and be prepared to kind of survive the first month with the money you save. Number 11, why didn't you cover companies like AEON or Nova in your other ALT companies list? And to answer your question is that AEON and Nova are actually eikaiwas. So they're a little different than ALT companies. We can cover the difference in a whole nother video, but that's why I didn't include them in the ALT dispatch companies list, because they're not ALT dispatch companies. They're eikaiwas. So I hope this helped. I hope that these answer your questions. If you have any more, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to answer more. Do research on them. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I do appreciate you even being here. I hope that you're applying. I hope that you're getting through your interviews. I hope that I'll see you in Japan sometime in the near future. Until then, bye.